Welcome you to our online session by Equilibrium Academy. So the subject is economics and today's topic is consumer equilibrium dealt through the indifference curve approach. Now the contents are as follows. Now to introduce this analysis, we have to recap the past chapter on utility analysis. Now utility analysis chapter dealt with how the utility of a consumer is measured by units. Now, it is being debated by many economists. So, the outcome of this kind of debate had been concluded by the different approach called indifference curve analysis. So, let us see what it says. It is just uh, an argument type of um, thesis that has been set up by the economists like Hicks. And what this approach says, we can learn. Now, this analysis is done through indifference curve, which is as a tool being used to prove that utility cannot be measured but only can be compared. Let us see with the definition. Now, the definition says like this. So, the definition of indifference curve analysis says that it is a graphically representation of the combination of two goods where the satisfaction level will remain same or constant. Such curve is called an indifference curve. So this analysis says that at a time the goods cannot all the goods cannot be consumed. To consume a particular good, a consumer has to sacrifice another good. So this is the thesis that is being found by economists, and they have developed this theory. Now let us follow up what are the remaining content that it says. Now this approach is being measured by ordinal approach, which says that measure of units is not used to measure the utility, but it is only comparison made. So, according to this approach, the utility of a consumer cannot be measured but can only be compared, such as ranks. That is first, second, and third, so on. Now, ordinal utility analysis is just a comparison but not a measure, being popularized by J.R. Hicks and R.G.D. Allen. This tool, named to compare, is called indifference curve, and this approach is called indifference curve approach of utility analysis. Now, this indifference curve analysis has various assumptions. Now, what are the assumptions one by one we can explain? Now, the consumer here is a rational who thinks and being sensible to have a combination of various commodities at a particular time by only following two commodities, and here he forgoes a commodity for another when he wants to satisfy with the price, given price. And what are the other assumptions we are going to see? The utility is ordinal according to the assumption. The utility is ordinal. That means the utility can be compared only. It is not followed by cardinal. Now, consistency in choice is maintaining the choice. He never skips it. So, A is maintained with B and B is maintained with A. So, it is just consistent. And consumers' preference is shifting A to B, B to C, and A to C. So, diminishing marginal substitution of food. That is, one good consumption allows the other good sacrifice. So it is called marginal substitution. It declines. MR, marginal rate of substitution, is declining. So it is dependent, this approach is dependent only on utility. And there are large bundle of goods prefer to small bundles. So a consumer is rational, we have assumed, and the assumption is followed with utility as ordinal, and the choice is consistent because in this economy the resources are limited. So a fixed income will allow a consumer to sacrifice another good for one good's preference. So preference is transitive, that is, we can shift from one good preference to another good. And the choice is consistent, it is continuous, and the satisfaction is constant. So diminishing marginal substitution occurs when one good is sacrificed for another good and dependent on utility. So only the utility is important. Now, a large bundle of goods is preferred for a fixed income rather than a small bundle of goods. Now, the explanation for equilibrium of a consumer is helped with the assumption. Now, assumption to equilibrium of the consumer. Before we go to the consumer equilibrium assumption, we have to know what is an equilibrium. So, equilibrium is not definition is nothing but a consumer equilibrium is a situation where his maximum satisfaction with his limited income. So the assumption made is that the consumer has indifference map of a group X and group Y. What is map? Map is nothing but a set of indifference curves. like IC1, IC2, IC3, etc. Now, the consumer have a fixed money income. That is one assumption, which is spent on X and Y. The prices of good X, PX, and good Y, PY are given, and good are homogeneous. Now, indifference map and budget line of a consumer. Now, map already have highlighted that it is a set of indifference curves or a family of indifference curves. And budget line is nothing but the income with the fixed income, the combination of goods is followed up by a consumer. Now here you can see that indifference map is being presented, and in this graph you can see a set of indifference curves IC1, IC2 and IC3. So you can see that successive curve further from original curve indicate this is the IC1 is the original curve, and as it shifts it is higher level of satisfaction. IC2, IC3 and all are higher level of satisfaction. So IC2, IC3 as it goes away from the origin it is higher level of satisfaction. So now you can see that at the budget line or the price line, there is nothing but the given income, the fixed amount of income, what is the various combination of two goods. Between two goods only always a combination takes place, and how the consumer purchases with a given money income and assumed price of goods. That is only called budget line. Now, for example, two goods, biscuit and coffee. So, how the consumer prefers for the fixed income and the fixed price, you can see from the schedule. This is a schedule where the biscuit uh, is preferred for the combination with not with the coffee at initial stage. It is 10, and then he has a combination of B to you can say A to B. It is just 8 biscuits. Yes, come down with a sacrifice of 2 biscuits and 1 coffee. So two packets is being sacrificed. Then combination of B to C, you can see that he has sacrificed further to uh, 2 more biscuits and to gain 2 packets of coffee. That is one increase in coffee packet. Then he had to sacrifice from C to D combination 2 biscuits packet further and to gain 1 more coffee packet. So for each one increase of unit of coffee packet quantity, the consumer has sacrificed 2 quantity of biscuit packets. So that is how the consumer combination is done according to the given price and the fixed income. So this is the budget line. This is the budget line. It's nothing but the combination of two goods that is purchased with a given income and the assumed price. So this is what he has followed up the combination A to B, B to C, and C to D, etc. Now, consumer equilibrium situation you are going to see where the consumer attains a maximum satisfaction with the budget line. Now, you have to learn from this. The term consumer's equilibrium already I referred to the amount of goods and services which a consumer may buy in the market with his given income and given prices of goods in the market. He gets maximum satisfaction, and that is called consumer's equilibrium. It is a comfortable situation. So the aim of the consumer, rational consumer, is to attain a maximum satisfaction from his given income or money. So that is only called price line or budget line. And The various level of combination is through the indifference curves is called indifference map. Now you can see the budget line graph and the consumer's indifference map, where the level of satisfaction keeps shifting from IC1 to IC2 and IC3 to IC4, etc. So as the IC curve are away from the origin, it is higher level of satisfaction the consumer attains. Now we have to see that how the consumer equilibrium is attained, where the tangency. You know that in the equilibrium graph, the IC curve has to be tangent to the equilibrium point. So at which IC curve the tangency at the equilibrium occurs. Now you can see the IC1, IC2, IC4. So we are going to see the next graph how the tangency occurs. So you can see that a consumer said to be an equilibrium situation where the price line is touching the highest attainable indifference curve from the below. So this is the original one, that is the inferior one. It is the lower one, and the highest one we are going to see which is that curve that touches the equilibrium point. Now this is the actual graph where you can see the consumer equilibrium point is attained through indifference curve tangency. Now you can see this is the budget line, and you know the definition that a consumer is said to be in equilibrium at a point where the price line is touching the highest attainable indifference curve from the below, not from the upward. So this is the higher level of maximum satisfaction. Okay, so from the bottom level you are going to see which is the highest level that the consumer attains the equilibrium point. But the first curve, if you see IC1, it is tangent at this point R and S. Okay, this is not the maximum level of satisfaction at equilibrium price. So, which is the curve you are going to see the equilibrium situation? It's nothing but the IC2. IC2 is the equilibrium point that the consumer attains. So this is the I equilibrium situation at C. At C, he gets the indifference curve tangent at a point where price line uh, touching the IC curve. This is the price line. You know the price line is this touching the curve. This is the price line B and touching the IC curve at C. So this is the highest attainable indifference curve. IC2 is the highest attainable indifference curve from below. This is from below. This is the curve that is attained as a maximum satisfaction. So I hope you can understand. So now with this indifference curve, we can see the other condition, that is the first order and second order condition. Now what are they? We are going to see. It is nothing but the indifference curve theory that meets following conditions when the consumer equilibrium is attained. Now what is the first condition? The consumer equilibrium point has to be attained. A given price line should be tangent to an indifference curve or a marginal rate of satisfaction group, uh, that is x and y, must be equal to the price ratio. So that is only called equilibrium point. And MRS xy is equal to pxy, and the slope of IC is equal to slope of budget line. So slope of IC2 and the budget line PT is equal. Now second order condition is that the indifference curve must be convex. So this is the convex. Indifference curve is convex to the origin because it is declining as the consumer keeps satisfying his satisfaction through one combination of good from the other goods sacrificing. The marginal rate of substitution is declining. So IC2 is attained. Now, first order the condition is a necessary condition where the budget line should be tangent to them. A given price line should be tangent to an indifference curve or marginal curve. So must be equal to the price ratio. Then slope of price line to equal to the slope of indifference curve. So slope of budget line is equal to slope of IC. Now you can see this line touching. And this is not the equilibrium line, but this is the equilibrium line. And this is the tangency of IC2. So IC2 is the equilibrium IC curve that's tangent to the budget line PT or the income line, the price line. Okay. Now the second order sufficient condition, you can see that the indifference curve must be convex to the origin always at the point of tendency, and you know the assumption how it occurs. So this is the convex curve. You can see all the IC curves are convex, and IC2 is also IC3 also convex, but IC2, which is equilibrium IC curve, is tangent to the income line, but it must also be convex and it is true. So income effect is seen with the normal good and inferior good and luxury good. So when the income changes, how the preference changes of a consumer, it's followed up. You can see that the inferior good first is purchased by low income, and first why this happens is the income effect that has been defined, that is change of consumption due to change in real income. So if the prices of goods, stays, preference are all constant, only the price changes is only due to income change. So we are going to analyze that. So income consumption curve and the quantity consumed by the group. You can see this as follow later. So I conclude the analysis by saying that the indifference curve analysis is a ordinal approach, and the comparison is made with between the two goods, and it is assumed that the indifference curve is convex, and how the equilibrium is attained by the tangency of the highest indifference curve from the bottom level. You can see that the price is equal, the income line or the price line is equal to the IC tangent, should be the equal position, and it is a comfortable position that the rational consumer prefers. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe the video